Myself, Amolesh Chandra Ghotok, EC Department, JNIT. This is our RF and Microwave Engineering Laboratory. In this laboratory, all equipment are X-band and waveguide is rectangular waveguide. X-band frequency is 8.2 to 12.4 GHz. In this laboratory, using two type of oscillator, one is Klystron oscillator and other is GAN oscillator, and use two type power supply, one is Klystron power supply and other is GAN power supply. Now introduce with microwave test bench setup. This microwave test bench setup is X-band setup and the setup is Klystron oscillator setup. This is our Klystron power supply. Klystron power supply power on switch, and this is HT switch. HT is on, then power supply produce the electron beam. This now varying beam voltage and beam current. This now varying Rippler voltage. This knob is meter selector, that is Rippler, that is beam current, that is beam voltage, and display is showing corresponding the value, that is Rippler voltage, that is beam current, that is beam voltage, and this knob varying frequency for amplitude modulation. This knob varying amplitude for amplitude modulation, and this knob varying frequency for frequency modulation. This knob varying amplitude for frequency modulation, and this knob is modulation selector, that is CW, that is AM, FM, EXT. EXT signal feed at this point, and this is the output point of this power supply. The output is directly connected to the oscillator. This is our Klystron oscillator. Klystron oscillator consists of two parts. One is Klystron mount. This is the Klystron mount, and this is the Klystron tube. This is the cooling fan for cooling process. This is the isolator. Isolator allows the signal only forward direction. This is the variable attenuator. This is our frequency meter. Frequency meter measures the resonant frequency or operating frequency. This is our slotted section. This is our tunable detector. This is BNC to BNC cable, match termination, CRO. This meter is VSWR meter. VSWR full form voltage standing wave ratio, power on switch, and display the 4 scale. Uppermost is SWR, then expanded SWR, then dB, and lower in is expanded dB. SWR meter, front panel 5 are variable knob. One is meter selector, that is expanded, normal, and dB. This is range in dB selector, and this is the input selector. Input selector always set 200 ohm. The two variables are varying the gain, that is the fine tune, that is the coarse. This point is input point of this meter. This is our microwave test bench setup using Klystron oscillator. The another microwave test bench setup is using GAN oscillator. This is our microwave test bench setup using GAN oscillator. This is our GAN power supply. GAN power supply switch on off switch, and this is the display, that is a meter. Upper, this is a selector switch. Upper is voltage and lower is current. Upper is voltage showing and lower is current, voltage and current. And this variable knob varying the GAN bias, and this variable knob varying the modulation amplitude, this knob varying modulation frequency. This knob varying modulation amplitude and modulation frequency, this knob. And two power supply points are there. One is GAN supply for GAN oscillator, and other is pin supply for pin modulator. This is our GAN oscillator, isolator, pin modulator, frequency meter, detector mount, directional coupler, pyramidal horn antenna, another detector mount, BNC to BNC probe, VSWR meter, and that is DSO. This is our microwave test bench setup using GAN oscillator. That is also X band.